Hello YouTube, this is TierPrice267, and we are here with the LC tier list for each generation. We are now on to Gen 4. I know it has been a while, but with the recent couple of LC leagues going on that I'm taking a part of, as well as the BBR having an LC league, I decided that I should probably get back to this, get back to the rest of the generations. We stopped after Generation 3, we are now to Generation 4. Why I stopped is life got hectic for me shortly after the Generation 3 upload, and so I haven't really been really on YouTube a lot at that point, and then I got into streaming for Emerald Imperium, and then I got into like other leagues as well, and this was just kind of like further put on the back burner. And then every time I would try to like come back and like upload it or like record it, then something would go wrong with the recording. So this is like I think my fourth attempt in recording Gen 4 specifically, but as they say, fourth time's the charm, you know. So with all that out of the way, brief explanation of what this tier list is. This isn't a tier list of like how good these Pokemon are overall. This is a tier list based on where they are valued or priced, how much of a good value pick would this Pokemon be. So this isn't for like how good this Pokemon is in general. If you want to see that, you could look up any LC tier list. A lot of them are pretty similar, I would say, to the ones that Peachy and I built. So I just think a lot of them just follow like the same concept of like each Pokemon value base wise. So yeah, if you just want to see like how good the Pokemon are, you just look one of those up. I don't feel like rehashing one of those again, so we are just going in how valuable these Pokemon are based on their price range. And another thing is, this is once again my opinion. I have some harsh opinions for quite a few little cut mons. I'm also pretty high in quite a few little cut mons that probably otherwise shouldn't be as high, but we will get there when we get there. With all that being said, we can get started. First and foremost, we have the starters. It will start with Turtwig. Now, Turtwig was a great, I would say like a great value, like defensive grass type with Stealth Rocks within Generation 8. And in Generation 9, nothing's really changed for it. Outside, it did gain access to Shell Smash. And at first, I was like, oh my gosh, it's got Shell Smash. This is probably going to be like, you know, S tier or something like that. But in practice, Shell Smash hasn't really been like a good set for it because of the fact that it's so slow. And it's more of a defensive Pokemon. It doesn't want to really waste its defensive capabilities to be offensive. So I think Shell Smash, the fact it got Shell Smash, it can, by all technicalities, it can run Shell Smash, but I don't think that's going to really change how I tier it, how I value it. I think it's still like a solid B tier. It usually comes in around points around like 8-9 points in that area, and I would say for that price range, it is pretty nice. Once again, a good defensive Pokemon to like get up Stealth Rocks and just be a nuisance to ground types in general. I think like stuff holding it back is, of course, it's really poor speed tier. Its ability is Shell Armor, like its hidden ability is Shell Armor, which isn't exactly too useful, I would say, because like it doesn't really have any great defensive setup capabilities. So it kind of just like not having a good ability kind of does hold it back a little bit. So that's why I would have it in B tier. Next we have Chimchar. I think Chimchar is C tier. It falls usually within the same price range as Turtwig, maybe a little bit cheaper. The big issue I have with Chimchar is that it is a pure fire type that isn't really fast and needs a little bit of setup to like actually start hitting hard. It does have access to Nasty Plot and I believe Swords Dance, so it can run both physical and special sets rather well. The issue once again is its typing leaves it a lot to be desired. it's going to get beat by so many different things. Its defensives are kind of non-existent, and it's really slow. So it's not like Ponyta, which is like super fast and has really good base stats. Its base stats are, you know, as expected for a little cup Pokemon, and it's rather slow, weak to rocks. So it's really rough to like get up a setup opportunity for Chimchar. And even then, you are still outsped by so much of the metagame that it's not going to matter too much. Next we have Piplup. I'm going to put Piplup in A tier. I think Piplup, once again, falls within like the same price range of like Turtwig and Chimchar, like 8, 9, 10 range. But the big thing about Piplup is its ability, hidden ability, was changed to competitive. So it's not the... I forget what the Pawniard and Defiant. It's not Defiant now, it's competitive. So it gives the special boost whenever it has a stat lowered, which makes it so much better. It gained access to Roost, which is huge. So now it could stay alive a lot longer and be more of like a defensive nuisance as well as an offensive nuisance if you're going against like Intimidate teams, as well as like Webs teams. So it's able to deter Webs. It still has access, of course, to Defog and Stealth Rocks. It's a great Stealth Rocker because of its typing, meaning it can like Stealth Rock on a lot of the spinners that would otherwise be able to just come in and spin on it kind of freely. And so it's just a great bulky water type with amazing, like Roost kind of just like makes it so much better now. It gives it a lot more longevity and just keeps it around a lot longer. It helps you like both win battles with the now new competitive ability it has access to, and well as like its defensive capabilities, being able to like sponge hits from like things that could otherwise sweep your team. Next we have Starly. I think Starly's S tier for its price range. Starly's usually priced like really low because of the fact that it's kind of slow and not at all like any bulk whatsoever, so it can just be knocked out with like really any neutral strong hit. The only thing with Starly is though, if you're able to get in with like a slow pivot or like pivoting or like clicking like U-turn or volt switch or whatever on a like hard switch, then Starly comes in, and Brave Bird plus Double Edge with Reckless is able to take out so much. It is really powerful. Also has access to U-turn if there's like a steel type or a rock type that otherwise can wall it. The moment you get rid of that, then Starly comes in and just can clean up. It can break early on if you wanted to. It's a very much a one-trick pony. I think you don't really want to run Starly with anything other than Scarf, to be honest, because of how slow it is. But you get that Scarf on it, and you just start clicking Brave Bird or Double Edge, and you could just clean so many teams. It is an amazing low tier point wise value pick, so that's why I kind of have it up in S tier. Next we have Bidoof. Yeah, Bidoof is D tier. It doesn't really do anything. It has Simple, which can be fun, but once again, it's not really doing anything with Simple, so it's there. He's a happy little boy. Same thing, similar thing with Kricketot. It's low points, but like its point value is like really its value overall is that you shouldn't draft it. Shinx, I would put in C tier. It's an electric type that has Intimidate, which is like Intimidate's a really nice ability to have, so which is why I would put it in C tier. But other than that, it's not exactly great, I would say. Its attacking stats are mediocre at best. So he's just overall like a mediocre electric type, where you can have so many better electric types, even within like that range as well. Like I would much rather have like something like Pichu, just so I could get like a Volt Tackle off or something like that, than I would have for Shinx. So that's kind of why I have Shinx down here. Next we have Badoo. Badoo, I think I'm a big Badoo fan, honestly. I think Badoo is a great value pick. It's like, once again, it's like lower tiered pricing, and it's like it can work as a good bulky grass type. The biggest issue with Badoo is it does not resist ground types. So like, it is a grass type that doesn't resist ground, and like that would be the big reason why you would draft a grass type, is just to have a earthquake resist. And since Badoo isn't able to do that, it's more here to like resist water than anything else, and then set up spikes as well. But since like spikes has been like kind of more widely distributed, Badoo kind of loses its value now. Next we have Cranidos. I say Cranidos is C tier. Cranios is the exact same issue that Rampardos has. Is it's all of its base stats is thrown into attack, and so it is really, really, really awkward to use because it's a rock type that does not have good defenses. So you're drafting it. Usually, when you would draft a rock type, you want to be more bulky in order to like take on the flying types that kind of like run rampant in this tier. The fact that Cranidos can't do that makes it really awkward that you have to take like a secondary flying resist with Cranidos. And then once again, Cranidos is everything is in attack, so its defenses are really bad. Its speed is mediocre at best. So you are running Choice Scarf, or you can like pair it with the Webs team, and it can be kind of nice. But then like, it's Sheer Force, which is great, a great ability. With like Life Orb, Sheer Force can do really well. But then like, its best Sheer Force moves are actually its special moves, and its special attack isn't exactly something to write home about. It's still it's good enough, it's serviceable, but you'd want it's Rock Slide pretty much is what you're clicking, because Earthquake isn't boosted by Sheer Force, and was like Rock Slide, Zen Headbutt, Earthquake I think is what you would usually run with it. So he's kind of here. Shieldon, I would say Shieldon's B tier. I think Shieldon is like a perfect bulky rock type to take on flying types, especially because it's like quad resistant to flying types, so it does amazing versus them. And outside like a couple of flying types that also get access to fighting moves, it's able to just kind of just wall most of them. It's amazing bulk. It can set up rocks. It can, I believe it gets Metal Burst, so it can do something with that. It does have access to Roar as well, so you can't really set up on it freely without being roared out. And it's also, its price point is really low, so it's a good low tier option to pick up. Burmy is D tier. Never worth picking up Burmy. Combi, I would say, is C tier, mostly because it's just funny. I think he is a funny pickup. He's usually priced around like 1, maybe 2 points. And the big reason why is because, well, his typing is awful. And he doesn't have like the Yanma of being super fast with speed boost. He is a Combi with hustle. So your options really, Combi as well as like, I think it's Bug Bite and Dual Wing Beat are its only good moves, really. I don't believe it has access to U-turn. If it does, I mean, does it really matter? It's a Combi. You're dying to two rock switch-ins anyway. So he's here, he's happy, and he's just a funny pickup. Once again, like, you're on like a Choice Scarf, and like Dual Wing Beat can like clean up teams as well, because hustle, it still hits really hard if it hits. That's the thing though, if it's dependent on hustle. But he's a 1 point mon, so you're not exactly getting much out of it. Next we have Buizel. I think Buizel is like, I'd say Buizel C tier. Now Buizel did get access to Wave Crash, so he is able to hit a lot harder. He is also still really fast. But my biggest qualms with Buizel is it's the offensive water type and not the defensive water type. And there are a lot better offensive water types to pick than Buizel. So like, he's priced like around 8, 9, 10 area. So he's like a mid-tier pickup. So he's not like bad by any means, I would say. But there are like higher priced offensive water types to take over Buizel. Like, I would take Krabby over Buizel. I would take Corphish over Buizel. Staryu can do both offensive and defensive, so like, that's not really fair for Buizel. Wingull, take over Buizel. So it's just there's I think a bunch of like offensive water types to take over Buizel before I would think about taking Buizel. He is a good speed option, which is kind of why I would have him in C tier over D tier, just because like he does give you that good speed. But outside that, he's just not really worth picking up. All right, next we have Cherubi. I am a huge fan of Cherubi. Kind of why I'm putting him in 8 tier against like any Bear Judgment. He is priced really low. He's like I think 3, 4, 5 point range. But I think of like if you have like if there are like still like 10 Pokemon Little Cup leagues out there, then Cherubi is an amazing secondary Sun Sweeper outside of Bulbasaur. Because Cherubi can come in and kind of break for Bulbasaur to come in and sweep in the end game, or vice versa. Bulbasaur can come in and break for Cherubi, so Cherubi can sweep in the end game. But Solar Beam plus Growth plus Weather Ball is really all you need with Cherubi to really just go in and like really scare opposing Pokemon. It's just worse Bulbasaur, I would say pretty much. But it does work really well as a secondary sweeper, and it's really cheap to like where if you are doing 10 Pokemon leagues, he is a good pickup as a secondary Sun Sweeper beside Bulbasaur. Next up we have Shellos. I think Shellos is S tier. Shellos has spectacular bulk. It is probably one of the best bulky waters, and like it does really well for his price point as well. He's a mid-tier price point. He's not really threatening other Pokemon at all because of its like weak offenses, but his defenses are so good that you can really build him to be super bulky. You can run Mirror Coat to like take out any electric types that are like Volt Switching on you, or like even Thunderbolting. It can live really any hit. You can EV it to live any hit you want practically, and with that it just makes it so good. And access to Recover, I believe he does have access to rocks, so you can like get up hazards with Shellos as well. And just Sticky Hold prevents losing your item, which is so nice. It's like Trubbish, but without like the offensive capabilities that Trubbish can have, so, or Recycle. So it's like he's not running Berry Juice, he's running a Violite, but he is also never ever dying. Next we have Drifloon. Drifloon's B tier. He's not, I'd say Drifloon's one of those like high floor, low ceiling Pokemon, as in like he's really easy to use and really easy to get off the ground with Unburden. But the big issue is he's also really like more skilled Little Cup players can easily handle a Drifloon. You can phase it out really easily. You can like, it's really weak to knockoff plus rocks. So if you get rocks up early, then prevent them from being removed, then you could just, a lot of Pokemon get knocked, and just every generation there's just gonna be more Pokemon that gets knocked, to where like Drifloon just struggles more and more with each passing generation. Now the beauty of Drifloon is you can run both special, you can run physical. Recycle plus Berry Juice can always be annoying. It does have access to Will-O-Wisp to like take on the knockoff users as well if he's like already like unburdened by the time a knockoff user comes in. But like once again, my biggest qualms with the Drifloon is that he is actually kind of relatively easy to like phase out, and he is really weak to knockoff. And it's like his defenses aren't great. He has great HP though, and you can kind of take advantage of like you can live a knockoff a lot, but you're like you live knockoff, but then you're like you don't have any offensive capability whatsoever. So you're just fast, annoying, and that's it. So I just don't think, like in Smogon, Drifloon was great. It got banned in Smogon a few times, but in draft, he's just like you can prep around an opposing Drifloon to like kind of mitigate what Unburden does to you. So It's kind of why he's just stuck in B tier. Now, if they give uh, Drifloon a good flying stab, then maybe he can like rise up the ranks. But his best flying stab right now is Air Cutter, so it's not great. On the special side, sorry, on the special side it's Air Cutter, which Drifloon has no physical moveset, and he only really has a special moveset. Like his physical moveset is Acrobatics, and that's it. His special moveset is a lot better, but he doesn't have good flying stab within that special moveset. Next we have Baniri. I'd say Baniri C tier. Baniri's a high price point because of his speed and like access to like a lot of different like triple axle, high jump kick. It's like fast normal type, really good little cup type of thing. The only issue with Baniri is that there are other fast normal types who are better than it, and a couple of them are also priced cheaper than it. So it just, why would you take Baniri when you could take something like Doduo or Meowth or Glameow or something like that? It's just, Baniri is kind of just runs into the issue of like there are other Pokemon around it that do the same thing but better than it. So kind of why I would say it's C tier. It's price high because of its physical attack and speed being really good, and like, you know, normal type, fast normal type being good in the low cup, but it's just, I think, outshined by like cheaper normal fast options and similarly priced normal fast options. Next we have Glameow. Speaking of cheaper normal fast option, I'd say Glameow is B tier. It's similar to Baniri, but I think it's more like Meowth than Baniri is like Meowth, I would say. Fake Out, Quick Attack, Double Edge, you know. Last Resort does have access to Last Resort. Fake Out plus Last Resort is really good, especially versus opponents who only have like one solid normal resist that you can chip down with other Pokemon, to the point where Fake Out plus Last Resort can just take them out overall. So it is a cheaper option than Baniri, which is why I would have it in like a higher price point than Baniri. Pretty much, it's just like it does a lot of the same things that Baniri does, but it's cheaper, so that's why I would take it over Baniri. Next we have Chingling. I'd say Chingling is like A tier. It is a very solid, bulky Psychic type with access to Levitate, and Levitate is huge. Once again, because like ground Earthquake spam is kind of prevalent within the cup, that people are like forced to draft Grass types or Levitate Pokemon, and Chingling fits into that archetype so well. Access to like Calm Mind and Psychic is really good as well, because Psychic as like an offensive typing is also pretty good within low cup because of like the lack of steel types to resist it, and like your only like thing that's able to like check your dark types. And then like dark types, there are still like quite a few good dark types, but once again you can at least like threaten dark types with fighting types that are like prevalent within the cup, as well as like fairies that aren't prevalent, so never mind. U-turn spam type of thing. But once you're able to handle a dark type, Chingling can be a scary sweeper as well. But for like right now, he works amazingly as a bulky defensive check to like ground types, as well as like even opposing psychic types that might want to like sit up and sweep. So Chingling works amazing in that regard, and is so cheap. Is like, I'd say, a similar vein to Spoink. Next we have Stunky. Stunky's S tier. Gen 9 has made Stunky so much better. It gave it reliable physical stab, which is what Stunky was missing in previous generations. It got access to knockoff. It got access to, I think, poison jab. So where like you don't have to run special Stunky just to click Sludge Bomb. It has access to Temper Flare, so it can take on steel types as well. It's just overall like those moveset changes have like boosted Stunky from like being a like, I'd say like a solid like C tier, not C tier, B tier like 10-point Pokemon to like S tier 12, 13-point Pokemon, just because like all those changes have made Stunky so much better. It is still really fast. It still has a great ability in Aftermath to where you can kind of just like do a free 25% to any physical attacker that takes you out. So like Stunky's just beautiful, amazing. Dark typing, but also poison typing, so that you're not like super threatened by fighting types, and you can still like scare them out as well. Play rough, so like Scraggy. If Scraggy can't Oko you, then Scraggy is switching out or getting taken out by play rough. Next we have Bronzor. A tier for Bronzor. Is in a similar vein to Chingling, but of course way better than Chingling, is priced higher than Chingling as well. Its steel typing makes it a great resist to flying, but it's also access to levitate, which means it's a great resist to ground. It's like the only things that are really taking out Bronzor are like, you know, fire types or dark types. And even then, like, it has access to stealth rocks to like kind of punish the fire types from constantly having to come in to take out Bronzor. It has access to recycle plus berry juice, which is able to keep it alive a lot longer. And calm mind sets can be crazy. Trick room sets can be great. It can be a cheesy like heat proof set for like if there's like a scary fire type that you can like kind of bait in and then cripple it or just take it out altogether with Bronzor. Like Bronzor just has so many different things it could do. It's a reliable screen setter if you want that. So honestly, you know what? No, I'll bump up Bronzor to S tier. I think Bronzor deserves it. He's a great Pokemon. Next we have Bonsly. Bonsly is, I'd say like Bonsly is I'd say A tier. Bonsly's A tier. The beauty of Bonsly is, unlike Geodude, he's only a rock type and not rock ground, so he is able to take water and grass hits a little bit better. Bonsly is also super slow though, so he's not like Geodude in that way, but he does have access to a lot of the same as Geodude does. Now access to Earthquake, which is huge for Bonsly. Still has access to Stealth Rock, Sucker Punch, rock moves, that sort of thing. So he could be like amazing in like being like a bulky bird pivot. He can be a bulky rock setter. He can be just, he does get access to Boom, which is I think funny, and like overall Sturdy Juice makes him really great. Now if you're playing not Nat Dex and Berry Juice isn't available in Gen 9, then Bonsly falls down the tier list really hard, like a lot, as well as like a lot of other like Sturdy Juice users. Bonsly would just fall down the tier list because without Sturdy Juice, then he doesn't have really access to two like free moves. He only really has access to one, so yeah, he kind of stuck. And then you can't just run Endure if rocks are up on your side. We have Mime Jr. Honestly, I don't think there's a reason to take Mime Jr. His price point is kind of high. He's a, I believe, pure psychic, or he may have the fairy typing. I'll need to double check for that, but overall he's just not a great Pokemon. Okay, he is Psychic Fairy. Okay, I had to double check, but yeah, he is Psychic Fairy, so he does have the fairy typing, which is nice. But at the same time, he's like, he is not, like, he does not resist knockoff, which is kind of big. Like, if you're taking as your fighting check, he doesn't resist knockoff, so you're still taking fighting type moves. Rather sadly, and then like his defenses aren't good enough to like warrant, I think, taking him as a check. He can work as like a choice scarf hitter with like Deagling and Psychic, but at the same time, I just don't think at his price point, he's like 7 to 10. He's like, there are so many better Pokemon within the same price range that I would suggest not thinking about taking up Mime Jr. That's why I would have him at D tier. Happiny. Happini has the Gen 1 learn set within the Gen 4 Pokemon because it's the baby of Chansey, which is a Gen 1 Pokemon, so it has access to all those crazy moves. And, has access to, like, healing as well, so it can stay healthy. It is baby Chansey, so it has, like, sky high special defense, and that's it. With, like, solid HP. Or not sky high special defense. Solid special defense with sky high HP, and that's it. And, like, however, I would say, like, E is kind of, it can work as, like, a stopgap for a lot of, like, special threats that go against you. Is able to kind of stay relatively healthy. And he's very cheap, usually like 1 or 2 points, so like, where you can be a solid 8th or 10th or 9th Pokemon, or how many Pokemon you drive. You can be like a solid last round pickup. Next we have Gible. I'd say like Gible is, honestly, I would say Gible is B tier. Like, Gibble's gotten so much better now with access to Scale Shot, and so he can be like a very good like sweeper. But like, the big issues with Gibble is that he is like quad weak to ice, and the abundance of ice shard that is ran in Little Cup is kind of sad for him. He is a dragon type that doesn't resist water or grass, so you're kind of bummed about that. And then like, he's like works as a good ground type though. I would say like he's not like a super bulky or like super offensive ground type. He kind of like falls in the middle of that. He's not like Sandshrew with the bulk or Drillbur with like the straight up offense. So, and his speed is kind of middling to where you need to get like a Scale Shot off to like be threatening, and by that point you are allowing yourself to get hit once, which is kind of scary for Gibble. So honestly, like, I don't think Gibble is bad by any means. Like, I do think he's a worthy pickup for his price range, is like, 7 to 10, similar to like Turtwig in that regard. But I don't think he's like one of those like high value low tier picks that you must pick up. Next we have Munchlax. Honestly, I really want to put Munchlax in D tier, but I think just because of like how bulky Munchlax is, and like recycle sets can keep him alive forever, he is a very similar to Happini, but like, like a lot more offensively capable at the same time. So the only issue is like Munchlax is usually priced rather high because he needs to be priced rather high, like 10, 11, 12 points. The biggest issue that Munchlax has is that he is normal type, so he doesn't have any good resistances, and he is beat down by any physical attacker practically, and his speed tier is really, really poor to where he's not able to like take on anything unless there is Trick Room up, and Trick Room is like super niche in general. Outside of VGC, it's just super niche in draft and in Little Cup, so that's kind of why I have him low here. He can, like, if you're going against like special threats, once again, he can sit on them rather well. He can sit up curses. He has access to recycled berry juice to stay alive forever. He can body slam para a lot of Pokemon and just like help out his teammates, but he is, I think, rather priced rather high, and it's not really worth the pickup. Next we have Riolu. I would put Riolu also in C tier. Riolu is I would say like one of the best fighting types for Sun teams, because like he has access to Prankster Sunny Day, and like he could be like a GC Pokemon in the same vein that Purloin is with Prankster Copycat. But like the big issue with fighting types are that there are so many good fighting types that you could take before Riolu, that you're just kind of like left with Riolu as like a like like everyone else got fighting types except me, and like I want a fighting type because fighting type is so good in Little Cup, so I guess let me take Riolu It's kind of where Riolu is left at that point, which is really unfortunate. But once again, Copycat is really nice. It can work as like a anti-sweeping mechanic for you, as in like there's something fast as like taking out your team, but you can come in and just copycat and take them out before they take you out with the priority copycat. And as well as like there's a funny air balloon dig Riolu tech that I have run a couple of times. I've gotten it to work once, and it's just hilarious to where if your opponent doesn't expect it, that you can use copycat plus dig on air balloon Riolu and become just unable to ever be taken out because they can't pop your air balloon and you're immune while you're underground. So I just with the air balloon as well, so like they can't just earthquake you or whatever. So I just find it hilarious with air balloon Riolu. Or like you could be lagging tail Riolu as well. Like I think that was the set that I would use. Yeah, I wasn't air balloon, it was lagging tail Riolu. So that if I am able to click dig at any point, and then if my opponent does not have priority of their own or like protect or something, then I could just dig copycat my way to victory and cheese a victory that way, which I always found hilarious. But yeah, that is a Riolu set. Next we have Hippopotas. Hippopotas is a trap. Sand is not good in Little Cup. It's in Draft Little Cup specifically, I mean, because it's just stacking up two ground types that are losing to the exact same Pokemon on your opponent's side. The beauty about Sun is that Bulbasaur can cover for Vulpix's weaknesses, and vice versa. And the beauty of Snow is that Alolan Sandshrew, Alolan Vulpix can take out water types for Alolan Sandshrew, and Snover as well can take out water types for Alolan Sandshrew. So like Snover plus Alolan Vulpix are able to like help Alolan Sandshrew in sweeping, as well as like Alolan Vulpix being able to set up screens for Alolan Sandshrew type of thing. But with Hippopotas he is a sand setter for Sandshrew and Drillbur are your sand sweepers usually. And the issue is Sandshrew and Drillbur are losing to the exact same things that Hippopotas is losing to. They are not able to break for each other, so they are kind of just stuck. As like, let me go into my grass type that checks this Pokemon, like, oh wait, my grass type also checks this Pokemon as well. So I don't need to switch. And so like you're kind of just wasting sand turns with Hippopotas. Now, Hippopotas alone, great stealth rock setter, really bulky, has access to slack off, but I have him in C tier because he is priced higher because of the fact that he can set up sand for the sand sweepers. That's why he's priced higher, so I don't think he's a good value pick overall. So that's sort of why he's priced down there. Next we have Skorupi. I think Skorupi, I would say B tier. He's fast and has good access to like Pin Missile and like Poison Jab, as well as T-Spikes and Spikes. Actually, I don't think he has access to Spikes. What am I thinking? He has access to T-Spikes, but like the big issue is with Skorupi is it's bug typing. I would say is just like he becomes weak to rocks, and then he's not like he's a bug without U-turn, so you can't really pivot with him, so you're kind of just stuck there. And like you can't keep up offensive momentum with Skorupi unless you like come in versus something like able to like threaten him out, take him out, sort of thing. So I do think he's still like pretty solid. The speed tier is nice. He hits 17, so. And like he does have like good defense to like where he can take hits rather nicely and like proc berry juice to get up back to full, or like have an Unviolite and just stay healthy and be an overall nuisance to your opponent. But Outside of that, he's just kind of there. I'd still say he's like B tier value because of the things I've listed, and like his price point has fallen over the generations just because like more and more Pokemon are being introduced that like do the same thing if not better than him. So he's just like slowly falling down the tier list, but he's still kind of worth picking up. So that's why I have him B tier. Next we have Krogunk. I hate Krogunk. to put it bluntly, this is more of like my take than anything else. When it comes to Krogunk, is just he is a solid water check, and he's a fighting type. However, he sucks at being a fighting type, and he is a lot of the waters that you want to check with Krogunk have access to Psychic moves for reasons I don't know. And it just kind of like, okay, well, let me check this water, but then let me get blown up by Psybeam. It's like, okay, alright, fine. And like his defenses are mid at best, and his speed is also mid at best. He's not really great. He has both access to Swords Dance and Nasty Plot, which means that he can be a sweeper. Vacuum Wave access plus Sucker Punch as well is like both physical and special. He does like both physical and special rather well, I'd say, but he is just outshined by so many better fighting types than him that it's just, at that point, I don't think it's ever worth taking Krogunk. He, once again, he just gets absolutely destroyed by a lot of the high tier water types that you would want to check with him. And then they're like, oh well, if I'm forcing Chinchou to run Psybeam, then I call it a win. No, it's not a win. Chinchou literally only needs 3 moves most weeks, and the 4th move can be whatever it wants. So let it be Psybeam that week. It does not matter. Chinchou literally only needs Volt Switch, Ice Beam, and Water moves. Scald, Surf, Hydro Pump, whatever. The 4th move, you can have whatever you want with Chinchou. If it's Psybeam that week, then that's great. That's the thing with like water types, is they really only need 3 moves. Not many water types runs into 4 move slot syndrome. So Krogunk is just, it can't check the water types you want it to check. It is not Wooper. Wooper can check the water types you want Wooper to check. Krogunk cannot. And it's like still priced relatively high because, you know, fighting type, like good stabs. And like I think like also like the selling point on Krogunk is like it can act as a fighting check that can deal more damage over time to fighting types than they can do to it if they don't have access to like ways to hit it super hard. So like it can work in that regard as well, but like once again there are better poison types than it to work as a fighting check, and there are better checks to water than it. So like I say he's like a jack of all trades, master of none type, and you really don't want that within your fighting type. Next we have Finneon, D tier. Next we have Mantike, also D tier. Finneon is, you know, it gets access to Storm Drain, which is really cool, you know, like boost your water special attack and then like become very scary. But like, you know, it's also a Finneon. There are way better water types than it. Like there are so many water types you can take over it. Like I don't think Finneon's ever worth drafting. Mantike is just so much worse Wingull in every regard that like why would you want to take Mantike? Like Wingull is like, you only take Wingull for its speed and it's like dual stab, being able to hit really hard. Mantike doesn't really have that because Mantike's special attack is not good. He's a bulky Pokemon with high special defense, but is quad weak to electric, so it's still kind of easy to take out. Then finally we have Snover. I'd say Snover's A tier. Now I would put Snover in S tier if there weren't other like snow setters. Sort of like how Vulpix is the only sun setter. Snover, there are plenty of snow setters. I do think in like 10 Pokemon drafts for Little Cup, Snow is better than Sun because like Snow is like less committal than Sun, I think. But with like 8 Mons or whatever, then like you can like, well, you can also take a little Vulpix to set up Snow. You can take a Mora to set up Snow. So like Snover isn't like necessary for snow drafts. I do think it's the best snow setter of the 3 for snowshoe drafts, but he's still like he's still all right otherwise. I mean, it's like uh ice plus grass typing really nice to like offensively. Ice Shard, Blizzard, Energy Ball has access to like Water Pulse and Chilling Water. It's like it has ways to hit fire types, not good ways, but it has ways. And it's like for its like ice weaknesses, like steel types can still kind of like sit on it, and fighting types, you know, aren't really sitting on it, but they can threaten it. But like the defensive boost that Snowscape now gives to Snover does make him scarier. So yeah, that's why I would have him in A tier over S tier. I think it's just like the fact that, like, you know, he's not necessary for Alolan Sandshrew to win, like for Alolan Sandshrew drafts, because there are other snow setters. I think he's the best one, but I don't think he's necessary per se. So that's why. But yeah, that is my tier list. Once again, this is just my own opinion from my years of playing Low Cup Draft at a high level, and then like watching other people play it as well. But if you have like any other, if you think like maybe something is tiered too low, maybe something's tiered too high, maybe if like maybe I forgot your favorite Pokemon, that could happen. Maybe I did forget a Pokemon, who knows? But if I did, do let me know down below. I do love reading all the comments you guys leave on these tier lists. They are a lot of fun, and I do respond to every single comment I get in regards to all these tier list videos, so I do really appreciate all your all support, and I just find it fun to do. So yeah, we'll hopefully we'll come out with Gen 5 shortly after as well, and we'll just keep it up. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.